Hi everybody, this is Matt. Thanks for watching and welcome back. Do you want to know how to put a light or a laser on your Glock? Well, you've come to the right place. I'm going to show you how, and I'm also going to show you how to zero it. So let's get started here. Now, you know me, I don't do any scripting, editing, anything like that. So you're just going to see everything happen in real time. This video came about from questions from you. Specifically, how do I get this on here? Will it mount on a Glock? How do I change out certain components? So on and so forth. So let's just talk about it. I have a Glock 17 that I've taken this off of, and we're going to show you how this thing works. First question, now I should say that this is a Streamlight TLR-4G, which means that it is a light and a laser combo. So right there is the laser. Here's the light. Light and laser. Hi. Anyway, one of the questions was on one of the initial mounts that they have in here. It's like, hey, how do I get this thing apart, Matt? All right, let me show you. First of all, you are going to take this screw here and you're going to turn it all the way in, which means I'm going to go clockwise with it. What I want to expose is this little guy here. So if you look, once I get this thing oriented the way that I want to, the screw exposes this little capture clip. Now, if it isn't, let me back this out to where it's going to be normal. Guess what? It sits down inside of this recess. So in order to get it apart in the first place, what we have to do is we have to just mechanically remove it. So I'm going to screw this thing in. Now here's where it gets really dodgy at times, because you can have parts flying all over the place and we don't want to lose this. So as you can see, I've got a very thin screwdriver, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work this off, which means that I'm going to insert the screwdriver into a slight hole that exists here. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm just going to tweak it enough where it comes loose. And I heard it pop, so it's loose. I'm going to go ahead and remove it. I'm going to put it on the bench, because if I don't and it ends up on the floor, it turns into what we call pocket parts. So now Glocks on these Streamlights take the C adapter. At least this version does. Here's how we get out what you might have in there originally. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to back this screw out. And when I back it out all the way, notice I'm holding onto this side here. I back it all the way. I have the screw, and I also have a spring, which allows me to remove this side right here. Now with that removed, and I'm going to set that down on the bench, I can simply take this, pull it out. So here you go. Notice that there is a hole right there that screw runs through. So I'm going to basically do a reverse assembly. I'm going to put this back in here like so. Make sure that guy lines up. Put the screw in here. Put the other side in here. And then I'm just going to begin threading it. And again, this is done all real time, no editing. What you see is what you get. But this is where it really pays for you to learn how to fix things, how to work on things, how to do things with your hands, how to figure things out. And it doesn't matter what trade craft you're in, it just simply works. Now I'm going to take this little bitty guy right here that I don't want going onto the floor. See that? I'm going to put it on here, and I want to reinstall it. Now, instead of using a screwdriver, I'm actually going to take a pair of electronic pliers that are bent. I'm backing up here so you can kind of see what I'm doing. And I'm going to slowly apply pressure to it. You probably heard that click. It went back on. And so now I can just simply go ahead and back this out, and then we can put it on the rail in the Glock. So, and see, now I can push on this and see how that extends out. So we're good to go. Now, I'm going to show you how to zero it. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to mount this to the Glock. We've got the underside of the Glock here. I'm basically just going to press on this, line up this tab with that groove, and it'll lock right in place just like that. At that point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten this by hand first, and then you can use a screwdriver or a coin to go ahead and complete the process. The thing is we want to make sure that we get this locked up good, because we don't really want to have it shifting around on us, because that would be bad. And you're going to lose your zero anyway. So let's get this thing tightened up, which we are. And I want to make sure that it just simply displays that laser. Now, how do we know that, this is accurate? I use a bore sighter. So I have a 9mm bore sighter, and I'm going to assemble it because if you leave the batteries in, it quickly runs out. Now, this is kind of a down and dirty way of doing it. Ideally, you would do this at a range where you've got a longer distance, but in this case, we're just going to simply use the wall. Now, you'll notice that I have a 32 round Glock magazine mounted in here. I'm going to go ahead and place my bore sighter in there so you can see that on that rear wall. So I'm going to go ahead, set it in the vise like this, and actually I think I'm going to tilt it right about there so you can see it better. So that is the bore sight. Now I'm going to turn on the laser, and obviously that needs some adjustment. So basically what we're going to try to do here is we're going to bring this green laser up to there, because we know that that's where it is on the bore. Using the supplied Allen wrench, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first work that over from left to right. So inside of the Glock, or on the Glock I should say, your adjustment screws, this is going to control your left to right movement. This is up and down. So it's that simple. We're going to put this back in, and I'm just going to very slowly make sure that I get this in here. All right, doesn't take much to get that to move. So that looks fairly close to me, okay? And so what I'm going to do now is, I want to make sure I can go ahead and get this in here. I'm going to get into the bottom one, because I don't want that to slip out. Okay, going to come up, going to continue to come up until we just make the two of them meet. I'd say that that worked out pretty well. So that's how you do it. It's nothing fancy. I'm just simply using the tools that I have available, and I'll go ahead and I'll remove the bore sight on this first. And let's see what it looks like. Yep, looks good to me. So let's just go ahead. Hopefully you're seeing this. So let's just try a trigger press. All right. Basically, we're good to go. That's how you mount it. Just make sure that you get that tight. And these laser bore sighters come in really, really handy. The only thing is they don't have an off button. So what I do is I go ahead and just simply take the batteries out, and then that way I'm not having to buy an excessive amount of batteries for them. But that's what works, and I hope that you learned something, and it encourages you to learn how to work with your hands, diagnose, repair things, and figure out how to get these crazy things lined up and working the way that they should. So anyway, thank you very much for the questions. I appreciate it. If you like what you see, please subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and until next time, everybody, be safe out there and have a good one.